Hello, my beautiful warrior of love. If you're not aware of this, I feel it's the most important message, and I'm not sharing it from a place of fear, but it is the most important message. For 25 years, I've been researching who's behind a lot of the atrocities that are happening on our planet, the darkness, the wars. It's almost like there's a slave mindset that we were born into or conditioned to be or created to be, and a slave master mindset. And that seems to be the hamster wheel for many souls and many lifetimes. And freedom is my number one value. And with the Scorpionic and Virgo sides of me, and the Aries warrior and the Piscean spiritual channeler, he put all those together, and I've been researching what's going on, and it's not it's not easy to digest. And so this year, I believe the rulers of this planet, the true rulers that are not human, were at some point out in the open. You hear it in ancient Hindu um, religions, and Gnostics talk about the demiurge, and in Islam they talk about the jinn, and in there's even in the Torah and Bible, they talk about the Elohim, which is God's with an S. So that gets you to go, wait a minute. So if God is, if capital God is now small God, then what is the real God? And who's this false God? And are we feeding this false God? And so what I believe is these gods were behind the scenes in our lifetime, at least. They were in front of the scenes. They were out in the open in the past, but now they're making their way to be covert rulers. Sorry, they were covert. They're going to be overt. I got that right. So they were doing it behind the scenes. Now they're going to do it in our faces. These guys are aware through social media. They're aware through our phones. They're aware of where we're at. They have a pulse on our collective. They know, oh shit, these guys are waking up now. It's time to speed things up. So it's two sides. One, increasing our awareness. Everything hidden is coming to light. And then on their end, oh shit, the humans are waking up. We must control this. We must stop this. They know their time's up, but they're like, how can, I was listening to a documentary yesterday about how in war sometimes before I think it was Portugal, when Portugal ruled parts of Africa, before they left, they put cement in the wells. They just destroyed the lands before leaving. And that's the sore loser mentality that these beings have. And they're doing that. They're like, how do we destroy planet Earth before our time's up here? So the most important thing now is to figure out solutions to these hard questions. If our time is up and we're ready to leave, as my friend and roommate right now is listening to a grief course, a death course, did you go through your grieving process of the loved ones that you've lost, or your grieving process of your own ego death, who you think you are, who you are without money, who you are without your career, who you are without the labels, who you are without being a mother, a father, a brother, a lover? Who are you without all of that? Have you gone through the grief of what will happen if we do not have access to food anymore, to water anymore, to a home, to not being here on planet Earth, to our Earth being destroyed? Have we created solutions or alternative sources for us to have our own food supply, have our own water supply, have a secure home, have a network of soul tribe that can hold it down as we go through these phases? Do you even want to go through these phases? If you decide at some point in your journey, I'm not going to want to go through this because this survival is just crazy, people are killing and robbing and looting, and humanity could be at its worst and it could be at its best. We don't know yet, but I have seen both sides of humanity. I've seen people open up their hearts during times of panic and have an abundance mindset, and I've seen people get into the survival and do ugly things. So we can see both happening. But if it gets to that ugly side, and you can create your reality, I believe that. But if it does, and you want to exit out of this, how will you exit? Have you prepared yourself for the trap that happens when you die? Don't think that it ends there. Do you know the difference between the false light and the soul recycling trap? Not if you don't know about that, I've spoken about it many times. And then do you know what's the best way for you to exit this reality? How are you going to do that? Right? And then, what is your plan of action to sustain yourself for the next few years if there is another COVID scenario lockdown, if there is a World War III that can happen any day now, if there is they're planning a false alien attack, they're planning, if you haven't seen the movie Leave the World Behind, they're planning a, which I haven't watched because I know it's CIA and I know they're wanting to create more fear through that movie, but there's a difference between I'm concerned that this is going to happen and I'm going to take action to better prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. And there's a difference between spreading fear. And unfortunately, in the new age, the new cage religion that, we kind of fell for, most of us, some of us, when people share things that are of concern, the response is, that's fear. And then it stops there. It's like, I get it. I may have some of my own survival traumas. And by the way, these people have experimented on humans to understand how to create trauma and keep someone subdued through fear. They've done that in one-on-one settings, and they've taken all that data since Nazi Germany, and it's continued even after Nazi Germany got transferred. It didn't stop, it got transferred to different parts of the world, and it's called MK Ultra. And so now they're just doing that collectively. So if you're not aware, you have survived or you're coping with MK Ultra tactics, mind control tactics, psychological warfare tactics. When you hear that parts of the world are flooding, volcanoes erupting, earthquakes, thousands of people dying, potential World War III, there's genocides happening, there are fires, Hawaii, California, Australia, and then you're aware of all the underground truths about what's happening on our planet, and food shortages and this Big Brother takeover and this COVID thing, and all these things are psychological warfare. So just be aware that this is the new war, and we are the enemy to these people. Don't think your government gives a shit about you. We are the enemy now. They ran out of bad guy externals, communists, the Vietnam, terrorists, Muslims, Arabs. They ran out. And there's a group of people who are running shit, who are trying to get you to look everywhere else except in that group. And even within that group, they're hiding behind that group. Like, that group doesn't even know that they have snakes within their own tribe, or some do. And if you try to say anything, there's an automatic response that they say that makes you out to be racist. So these guys have been pointing the fingers, look everywhere else except us. And I just posted a very, very controversial, but very, very eye-opening documentary on my Telegram channel, 2 hours. Mind-blowing. Connect the dots. This is what's been hidden, and it's so deep. And so the Telegram group is Warriors of Love, and you can find it on Telegram. And I've been posting these documentaries. You can check it out if you're interested in knowing the truth. But our time is not our best friend. It is an illusion. But I highly recommend, what is your game plan? Get together with your tribe, make it happen. I love you.